Do you struggle to do a clean fade? Do you get lost in the fading process? Today, I'm going to show you my exact haircutting framework to solve these problems. My name is Andre Morales, aka Dreclipperhands, and I've been cutting hair for 10 years. And today, I'm going to bring out all the knowledge that I've learned in those 10 years to teach you how to do a clean blend. Now, what a lot of barbers struggle with is transitioning a fade to the length on top. So what I like to do is attack the hardest part first, and that is, for most people, the top. So we're going to begin by creating 3 sections, one on the right, one in the middle, and one on the left. And we're going to establish the length that we're taking off with that middle guideline. So you want to pull up on the hair and give it some good tension. And we're going to be taking off about a ½ inch, and we're going to follow this guideline all the way back to his crown. Now, the reason we begin with the top first is because it lets us know exactly what we are blending into. Very similar to when we do a buzz cut, right? We take down the top and then we blend into it. I think a big reason most people struggle to transition a clean fade to length on top is because they're kind of guessing as to what length they're blending into. So establishing this first is going to give us a little bit of a safety net. And after we establish that length with the middle guideline, we're going to comb it all over to the right. And we're going to grab section by section, starting in the front, using that middle guideline as our reference point. And you want to be sure that as you move back and you grab the hair, that you don't grab too much hair. You want to grab as little as possible as you move back. I would say a section about the width of the comb, because if you grab too much hair at once, you're going to be over directing it backwards, causing a lot of unevenness. So grabbing nice clean sections that are controlled is going to make for a much more even cut. Now I'm going to go through once more as I get towards the parietal ridge. You'll notice I'm not cutting at an angle, right? I'm pulling it square off of the head because I don't want this to have, you know, like that mohawk shape. I want it to be nice and square and maintain that weight in the parietal ridge. And then after we trim that right side, we're going to grab that middle section once again and pull that over towards his left, still repeating and following that same Now this process or framework that I use to cut clients' hair is called the build and blend framework, right? So what I like to do is start by building the shape, building the length and the style of the haircut, and then blending everything into that shape and into that style. I have found that this build and blend framework has been very helpful to me because it gives me a system to default to, right? It's hard for me to get lost when I have a process and instructions to follow. So having this framework helps me to attack every haircut with confidence. Now we're going to be using some sea salt spray before we blow dry. This is going to give the hair some volume and texture, and then we'll go ahead and hand blow dry it. But if you want to go more in depth on this build and blend framework, you can tap the link in my description and join my online training program where I break down my build and blend framework in detail. But now we're going to use our blow dryer and we're going to hand dry the hair because, like I said, this does not have to be super styled, right? We just want to have it dry enough to get into the blend. So I'm just going to go through the hair and dry it as I go. Now, sea salt spray isn't something that I've always used, but Tomb 45 has released their very own sea salt spray, and I started using it and I love it, honestly. So if you want to get yours, tap the link in the description as well and get yours today. But it gives it a really natural hold while bringing out texture in the hair, right? Especially with people who want those crops or real textured fringes, the sea salt spray will help with that as well. Especially when you cocktail it with a clay or a paste from Tomb 45, it'll give it that nice style. But as you can see, it brought out some volume in the front, and we got it nice and prepped for the fade or the blend. So now we're going to get into the blend portion of our hair cutting framework. So we're going to start off with our bald line, and I'm setting it in with the clipper closed at the top of the C cup and then moving my way back to the occipital bone. I like to come in closed on my clipper because it'll make it a lot easier to get rid of that first initial guideline. What a lot of barbers do is they tend to flip the trimmer around and punch in that guideline as if they're lining it up. But what that does is create an indentation in the scalp, because really you're pressing it in as if you're doing a design, and it can make it pretty difficult to get rid of if your clippers don't cut too close. So I'm coming in close on the other side as well, and I'm going to connect it to the back where we left off. This is going to make it so much easier to get rid of that first line. And now what you're going to see me do is come in with my trimmer and shave everything below that clipper closed off. Now I'm being careful with this trimmer to not take it up to where we did the clipper closed all the way, because the point of us doing it with the clipper closed is to make that line softer. So I'm stopping slightly below on that clipper closed with my trimmer, and we're shaving all of this down. And you'll notice I established the bald line on the beard as well, because this is going to be like a faded beard, a little more than usual. We're going to start from the bottom of the ear and then blend into it. But now we're coming to the other side, and we're going to shave that down as well, because what you do to one side, you must do to the other. And like I said, we're doing a deeper blend in the beard, so I'm just gonna knock out this guideline since we have the trimmer in our hand already. And doing stuff like this makes it a lot more efficient throughout the haircut, because I don't have to keep going back and forth to my trimmer. And now we're gonna follow it up with our foil shaver, because as you can tell, my client's hair is very thick, so I have to go over it 2-3 times in order to get it truly to what I'm cutting it down to. And you'll see with the trimmer, it's still very shadowy. And now, even with the shaver, the bottom is going to be very shadowy. And it's pretty much as close as you could possibly get, right? Some clients' hair is just very thick. But throwing in the shaver on a client like this can be very noticeable for them. Because where most barbers would be lazy and not use the shaver, we do, right? And it's going to add some longevity. It's going to make his haircut pop. And clients enjoy having a haircut, you know, that they pay for last a while. So if you can do that for a client, you automatically make yourself a little more valuable. And again, I'm being careful with this shaver to not take it up to the top of that bald line. We're stopping a little below where we left off with that trimmer. Now we're going to get into our fading process. So we're going to grab our lever all the way open on our clipper, and we're going to go up about a finger's width above that bald line, or I would say about an inch above that guideline. We want to give ourselves enough room to blend, right? For me personally, I'm a barber who likes gradients. I don't like super condensed fades. Although they're dope, it's just my personal preference, right? So I like to give myself nice wide guidelines so I can make sure I have a nice transition into whatever I'm blending into. So we did lever open, now we did one open. And we're going to follow that up with our 2 guard all the way open, going slightly above that one open. Now I'm setting in my guidelines in going up, and then we'll blend our way down. I found setting in my guidelines and then blending down allow me to stay a lot more organized, as opposed to over obsessing over each guideline I make. I'll just set in every line all the way up to my transition point, blend down, and then get rid of the line between the top of that fade and the length on top. So now after that 2 guard open, we're going to drop down to our 1.5 halfway to get rid of that faint line between the 1 open and that 2 open. And we're going to work this process until all of this is completely blended. Now that very top line at the beginning, at the top of this blend, we're going to get rid of at the end. So we're going to drop down to our half guard with the lever open, and then we'll close that lever notch by notch until this line is as blended as can be. And I always start off open when getting rid of guidelines, because it's gonna give yourself a safety net, right? If you come in close and you take off too much, you gotta raise the blend. So it's better be safe than sorry and start off open and then close it the more hair you need to take off. And you can really see how many times I have to go over a certain area of his head to get rid of dark spots. That's because the density of his hair is so much. And now for the last line, we're gonna close that lever all the way, as you just seen, and we're gonna tap at this line that we created. Remember, we created this line with the clipper closed, so we're gonna tap at it with the clipper closed just slightly, and then as we move up to the middle of this blend, we're gonna open it up notch by notch until this is completely blended. Now this is where I'm gonna spend majority of this fade, because you'll notice I have to detail a lot in order to blend this line out because his hair is so dense. So I'm coming in close, opening it up little by little, and then I'll use a lot of the corner of the blade to get rid of dark spots that might not have came out originally. Now you can still see that faint line at the bottom of the blend, so I'm just coming in still with my clipper closed, and we're going to try our best to get rid of all of these lines, especially with the indentations in the back of the head as well. But again, if clipper closed doesn't do the job, you always come back with the trimmer as well. Now I don't get to do super drastic beard blends often, but when I do, I love it. But we're gonna follow our same exact fading system. It's actually a little easier when doing it on a beard. So we had bald already, so we came in open, and now we're getting rid of the line between that bald and lever open, which as you can see is blending out pretty easy. Now we'll come in with our one guard open, and we're gonna start establishing a new guideline and then getting rid of that line in between. And you can see already at this one guard open, there's not much blending that we need to do into that chin area, because we are going to maintain the length in the chin area. We're just doing that deeper blend into it. But I just took the guard off using the corner of my blade with no guard, and I'm just tapping at any dark spots that I see. And to be fair, this client's beard is very dense as well, so it makes it a little easier to fade. Obviously, if his beard was a little thinner, we'd be more cautious. But now we're going to come in with our two guard open, and I'm going with the grain of the beard, right? I'm not coming against yet. I'm just kind of scooping into the length that he already has to try to transition it. Now getting right back into the blend on the side of the head, we're going to do some clipper over comb to blend into that length that we established on top. So since we left off with the two guard open, we're just putting this comb flat against the head, flaring it out slightly, and then any hair sticking out we're going to get rid of with our lever open on our clipper. And you can see I'm even using this comb as a guard essentially. Instead of moving to the 3 or 4, I'm being efficient by using this clipper over comb method. So going to the side will get rid of more hair at once, but to be more detailed, come up against it as if you were using a guard, and it'll make it a little easier to blend. And you have to remember, it's not always going to come out perfect the first time through, so sometimes you need to go back. So I drop down to my one guard, and I'm detailing some dark spots that I see going towards the front of the fade. We're just doing what needs to be done in order to make this blend look as consistent as possible. Now we're just going to line up his vertical bar. We don't do much because as you can see, the front doesn't have a lot of hair to work with, but we want to get that as sharp as we possibly can. And now to really soften up that transition into the top, we're going to use some thinning shear over comb. This is just going to soften everything up while still allowing us to maintain that density. And we are going to enhance this vertical bar just slightly, so I'm using my Tune 45 air compressor as well as the Tune 45 enhancement, and I'm just spraying it on lightly and then darkening it up as needed. The color I'm using is dark brown. Everything we did to his right side, we went ahead and did to his left, and that blend is looking super clean. If you're enjoying this video so far, leave a comment down below and tap that like button. Now we're gonna frame out the beard. So we went ahead, reclined him back, got him nice and relaxed, and we're gonna frame out the bottom. So we're going a little above the Adam's apple, straight across. Since this is a shorter beard, and a beard that is, you know, faded, we'd like to bring up that line slightly higher than at the bottom of the neck, right? Because he does not have any intention of growing it out, at least at the moment. But you don't want to go super along the jawline, right? So now we're gonna frame out the back as well. Not too crazy, not too much. Now we're gonna come to the other side and do the same exact thing, and that blend is looking crazy. His hair texture is not easy, but if you do it right, it's gonna look super nice, right? So we're gonna go ahead and shape down this bottom. This is one of my favorite parts of the haircut, and it is the beard lineup. So we're gonna start by creating our reference point at the top of the beard and then working our way down. Now again, we're not trying to keep this beard super high at the top of that stubble. We want it to go to where the top of the mustache is and give it that nice round beard shape. So we established our initial line. We're gonna shave down all that excess hair, and then we'll brush away this little debris and we'll reline it. This is gonna ensure a real crisp line that stands a shower or anything like that, right? You wanna line it up more than just once to make sure that it is truly sharp. And now let's go to the other side and do the same thing. So I established my reference point at the top, and then on this side I had him blow a bubble, and I established the reference point on the bottom, and we're just connecting it in the middle. Doing that can give you peace of mind because you know you're just kind of connecting the dots, what you established, those 2 points. But now we're gonna shave that down and then reline it just like we did with the other side. But as we finish up this haircut, if you did not know, your boy dropped a podcast, and the podcast is called the Cut Different Podcast. We are now 2 episodes in, so I encourage you to go check that out. Tap the link in the description and check out the Cut Different Podcast, filled with value and gems. It shows a different side of myself and showcases the expertise of others. But this is the cut. If this video helped you in any way, shape, or form, make sure you tap that like and subscribe button, and I will catch y'all next time. Peace.